Hey guys, welcome. This video is dedicated to my 3 Greenstalks. They're on my backyard deck. You can see it is fall. It is November the 6th, and we're going to get started here in just a second. I know this is a very niche kind of video because it is just my Greenstalks. I'm only going to talk about those today, show you what I have sown as far as seeds and what is germinating and what is growing and what is not. My tallest Greenstalk is the 7-tier leaf. It has smaller pockets, so it's perfect for strawberries and or lettuce. I do have strawberries, all the same variety, in the bottom 6 tiers, and then on the top I have just a basic salad bowl blend lettuce that I did sow twice. The first time I used some old seeds and they did not germinate, so I had to reseed. I think it was early November. No, it couldn't have been that. It must have been around October, early October. Alright, so we got the easy Greenstalk done. Strawberries, doing okay. They were fed not too long ago, a month or so ago, maybe last time I made a video. So they will just ride out the winter and do perfectly fine, very cold tolerant. I think this variety is Seascape, and it goes from maybe 4 to 8 for growing zone. And we looked at all the lettuces. They're all tucked in a little seed house. So now I got to work on these other 2, which takes a lot more time. And so I think first up, we just go ahead and take all the peppers out. Anything summer related needs to go. This sage is looking really nice. I think it's called golden sage. Yeah, golden sage. So there's a few peppers hanging on. We're going to go ahead and take all the plants out. We'll just cut them down at the soil level and remove the peppers that are ready, which even if they're tiny, you can still use them and eat them. Like this little cutie. This should be a jalapeno. I had a lot of mystery peppers in my Greenstalk this summer, and they were just volunteers that I found, and just stuck them in here. Tonto, you're a good boy. Yeah. Okay, so whenever I'm working on my Greenstalks, I have to open up my notes on my phone, because that is where I keep track of what I plant in each tier. I've seen other people use masking tape on the outside. I tried that one year, and then it got stuck and discolored slightly. It was hard to get the tape off. So now I just kind of keep a note. And then I have to refer to it when I'm making these decisions, when it's time to transition and, you know, flip things around, get rid of the summer, you know, or vice versa when it's winter, spring, going into summer. Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick peek. I know I've got some bunching onions on the top. Looks like a few have germinated here and there. A little bit of lettuce. So it looks like everything that should be in the top tier here is. Like this lavender, bunch of onions, and I've got 2 pockets of butter crunch lettuce. So that's good that they're all still alive. Now I'm going to move down here and check on things. Alright, so second tier from the top, I should have 3 containers of salad bowl blend. And this was an older pack from 2021, I believe. Maybe 2022, but older and very low germination. So I'm going to reseed with a newer pack. I do have really good germination on the pockets of arugula. I have a very short growing season for arugula. And then I still have some lemon thyme here, but I think I'm going to relocate it. Here's some more arugula, and maybe just plant more arugula. Because this time has not been happy here at all. I have noticed that. I do like to have some herbs in my Greenstalk, but I think I am going to maybe, I'll have to think about it, maybe relocate. But we will reseed this tier real quick. And then I'm going to move down here. I just cut this pepper out. You can see I left the little stub. So I'm pretty sure these are the little Napa cabbages. And this is Crawford lettuce. Yeah, so these guys will probably have to get thinned slightly. So I know you're thinking, okay, it's getting close to end of growing season for fall, right? These guys actually will overwinter. At least most of them. Some of them will die with the cold weather. And then come February, they're going to take off. We're going to have lots of growth with my lettuces. I get to eat a lot of lettuce in February and March. And then as we start to get warm, they don't do so well here. So we're going to check this pocket. I don't know if this was more, yeah, this looks like more lettuce. So this one didn't do too well. I have some lettuces over here though. I think only 2 or 3 of these germinated. This is Yuletide. It was also an odor seed pack. I will relocate them over into that empty pocket. And then we'll plant something else here, perhaps. Here's another pocket of the Crawford lettuce. I've grown that in winter before. Seemed to do okay. Another variety that was excellent throughout winter here last year, and I need to order more seeds. Tango lettuce. It did so great. I should have already ordered the seeds, right? Because it did do so well. All right, let me go get some pruners. We need to get these peppers out of here. And I think I'll relocate some of those little Napa cabbages. So I'll transplant those Yuletides here between the 2 Crawford lettuce. And then these 3 pockets will just be the little jade Napa. Now the next here is dill. I had to replant. And it takes a long time for dill to germinate, especially in these cooler fall weather temperatures. The first time I had great germination, they were growing, and then the squirrels got up in here. So it looks like I've got 1 or 2 in each pocket germinating. So that's just going to have to be okay for now. We'll see how they do over winter. Dill doesn't grow well here in the heat of summer. So it's more of a spring and a fall to winter type plant here. And I think every plant here on the bottom tier is some kind of cabbage, some kind of Chinese cabbage. So it looks like I may need to transplant a couple out. So we just have 1 per pocket. They get pretty big. Got something germinating down here. I picked a couple out of my dill pockets. I'm not sure what that is. I'm really not sure what that is. It could be a weed. It could be a flower seed that germinated. It's really hard to tell, but I think I'll do a plant app check and see what that is. So the plant app kept telling me watercress. I don't know if I agree with that. It almost looks like the Chinese cabbage, to be honest. So I may pot up the ones that have just recently germinated and see what happens. You can see I've also got some peppers down in here germinating. Those will have to go, obviously. It is gonna get cool pretty soon. You can see here is some of that dill that is just now starting to germinate, just barely. Got a little bit of a sprout going right there. Very, very slow. Oh, here's another. Look at these cuties. These are the little jade. Okay, so I did move the Yuletide over here. Going to get them protected with their little seed houses. Again, I do not trust the squirrels at all. No time of year, which is unfortunate. All right, I need to run in and get some more seeds. I definitely want to put in some more arugula on this tier. Honestly, I'm starting to think maybe I drop some of these little jade seeds down in here, because they kind of look like that as well. They also look like impatient seedlings before they get their true leaves. So I'm just going to pot up all the extras, and it looks like it's something of value. It doesn't really look like a weed, and we'll just go with that. So I am watering, and I am lightly fertilizing as I go, and I'm also cleaning the seed windows so that we've got a nice clear view for the sun to go through and heat up those plants during the winter. I got those Chinese cabbage seedlings into a little seed tray, and this Greenstalk looks great. It's ready to take on fall and possibly even make it through winter. Now this other one is going to be a little bit of work. I did get great germination on those bunching onions, which is great. The sweet alyssum is just beautiful. I love sweet alyssum. It looks great in a Greenstalk as well. Often it will self-seed. I do have some seedlings there for that kale, and then this Greenstalk, as we talked about before, it is ready to go as well. The sky is looking cotton candy pink and blue, so pretty. Got this kale. I'm gonna put the name on the screen. I do have a tiny baby there. I had to reseed a couple times due to squirrels. Got my onions supported, bunch of onions from the Dollar Tree. And I got some gorgeous sweet alyssum. So that tier is done. So the next tier, it looks like I've got a couple spinaches. The golden sage looks gorgeous. Another spinach. And another miniature rose. They look beautiful in Greenstalks. And what is this? Some more spinach. So I'm going to put on the screen what variety, because I have to look on my little note app real quick because I cannot remember. Next level, I have 2 varieties of kale, and I will put the names on the screen. This one is a frilly kale, and then I have the smooth, I think this is Siberian dwarf. Now I do have 4 pixie cabbages growing. One doesn't look too hot. I tried to pull on it though, it still has roots. I'm just gonna let it go and see how it develops. But the other 3 look really cute, and they should do okay. Alright guys, it is the next morning, and we left off on this tier with the kales. So I've got 1 spring started kale, and I'll put the name again. I think it's, I don't know, I'm gonna have to put the name. And then a baby seedling that we started for fall, because yeah, I didn't know how this guy would do. If you watched my last Greenstalk video, you knew that, or you know that the cabbage loopers had decimated this plant, and I had cut it all way back and hoped that I would get a flush of new growth, and I did. Same thing with this one over here. It looked horrible. Cut all the foliage off, and it just started to grow. But I put the seeds down just in case it didn't recover for a new plant of the same variety. Okay, so I'm going to move down to the bottom. I mean, not the bottom. I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th tier down. It looks like I've only got pepper. There's 1 pepper there we can pick. Pepper. There's something in this pocket, so I need to pull up my list real quick, see what that is. And oh, I know what it is. It's cilantro. So we only have 1 pocket of cilantro. That's not good. I thought I planted more than that. So I think what I'm going to do, I may actually go ahead and seed all of the pockets with just cilantro, and then put some more seed houses on. Now, it looks like I've got a dwarf bean growing. I did plant some of those in the last video. It was so late in the season, and those seeds were really old. So I think I only got 1 or 2 to germinate, and we're going to pull it because obviously it's not going to have time to do anything. Our first frost should be in 5-6 days or less. I think it's Monday though, probably, or Tuesday, and today is Thursday. I see another pepper we can pick. Yeah, I'm going to put a screenshot of this tier as well in case you're curious. And I don't know if I showed you this last night, but I'm kind of supporting the green onions a little bit differently. Love having fresh green onions grown on the Greenstalk. My daughter comes out here all the time to just cut what she needs. I haven't had to buy green onions for like 5 years. I just keep them going year round. Yep. And then this bottom tier is just orange thyme. I gave it a haircut the last time I worked on my Greenstalks, and some of the pockets are in need of another haircut because they are touching the deck. So yeah, I'll do that. Maybe I'll process it and dry it. Maybe I'll cook with it tonight. I have an endless supply of time, so I don't have to worry about storing too much of it. And you can see this tier we got completely done yesterday. Looks so much better just having those seed house windows clean. And I'm really happy that this one's done. Shouldn't have to do much for a while. Just make sure it doesn't dry out. And we'll just wait and see what survives winter. what starts growing quickly in early spring, late winter next year. Now I do have these extra seedlings, not sure where I will put those yet. That's the cabbage, the Chinese broccoli actually. And so this guy's done, except for some more cilantro. I'll go inside and get those seeds here in just a second. I think yes, it's Calypso cilantro is what I used. Grown that a couple rounds in my Greenstalks. And then of course this strawberry one's completely ready to go into winter. Now this is technically just an empty tier. Now I do have New Zealand spinach down in there. It has died back already because the squirrels were just going nuts. And I think what I'll do is just insulate it with leaves for winter. I don't think I'll try to grow anything in there. Just insulate it with leaves. And then hopefully our New Zealand spinach will come back. It has for the last 2-3 years. Alright guys, well, I think that's going to conclude the Greenstalk video. I've got a lot of leaves to clean up here in the next week or two. But it was good to get this done. Good to get this done. And for those of you that own the covers for the Greenstalks, do you think they're worth having? Because I just cleaned out the leaves last night and now we're starting to gather more, and we definitely, as these leaves start to fall, will have so many more leaves. I have thought about ordering them. I think they're only like $12, but is it necessary? And do you still get a lot of water down in the reservoir if you have the cover on? I'm just not sure that's something I really need. Alright, well, this was a good video. I'm glad I got this done. I feel so much better about it. Going into, well, I mean, we just started fall. Today is the 6th, November the 6th. And I definitely still have a long ways to go into fall. Maybe I will get a little bit of growth on these lettuce babies. They need to get a little bit bigger before we can start taking leaves. But I do like to come and cut again on my lettuces for the most part. Some are starting to get a little bit of growth, but they need to get at least maybe double that size before I try to take a leaf or two off of them. So we may get a little bit of lettuce towards the end of fall. Things are really going to slow down though. December and January. February is going to be our month where things start to take off for me. And then it's going to be a quick race to get everything eaten and harvested before it starts to bolt, because guess what? My arugula, come February, mid-February, it will be bolting. All right, y'all. Well, see you soon. Hope you're having a good week.